What's up, ladies and gentlemen, your boy Jordan back with another video. Guys, we are going to be looking at the anti-feminist triggers modern women. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in this video. I will be reacting to it, but speaking about modern women in this day and age, man, like for me, not all of them. I mean, there are some women out there that they've been brought up right, they've been brought up in the correct way, some not so much. But then some, they've been brought up in the correct way, but then they're in the wrong environment. So for me, when it comes to being submissive as a woman, I feel like there are two parts to a relationship. From the man's part, he should be a provider, he should be the protector, he should be the responsible one. Don't get me wrong, the woman can be responsible as well, but he should be the kind of the outlooker, the guy that is just there, and he has that kind of protective presence, and you know, he looks out for his girl, he's loyal, and you know, all these skills that men should have. It should kind of it should almost kind of flow off into your girl. Like you and your girl should have the kind of same kind of skill sets, you know. Don't get me wrong, like I've seen it, like a man and a woman have different skill sets, but their bond is just, you can't break their bond. Like he may be really funny, irresponsible, does dumb things, goes on holidays all the time, and she's very like book smart. I've seen it, but they just have a very good connection, very good bond. You can't break that. But all I'm saying is, you'll be a better partnership, you'll be a stronger partnership if you have similar skill sets, and each of you you're on the same page. In basic terms, are you on the same page? If you're not on the same page, for me, I don't really think it works. I feel like from the men's side, you have to be, like I said, sometimes you may have to be submissive, not in a way of kind of being emotional, but listening to what your woman wants, then acting upon it. Not a lot of men like to listen, where men should be very good listeners. We should be wise and very good listeners, and listen to what our women want. Because we should understand that our women are emotional beings and they act upon emotions. So therefore we cannot act off our emotions and retaliate. What happened? Bang, a massive brawl. We should sit back, listen to what she's moaning about, listen to what she wants. Now, if she's moaning about stupidness, walk out the door. If she's moaning about serious things that she needs to get off her mind, it could be job related, it could be the relationship, you need to sit down and listen and play your part. From the women, submissiveness, for me, like I feel like some women take it the wrong way. I feel like they take it, oh, like I'm not letting him put me down and, you know, keeping me at that level. No, that's not what that means. So if you and your man go out to a club or a party or a gathering, right, and you have all these other couples there, you should not be speaking over your man. You should not be putting your man in his place. Like, whoa, like that will really deplete his pride and his kind of honor in front of the other men. Like you should really let him, if he has something to say or something he has to, you know, something has to come off his chest, or he has an opinion about something, you should not argue with him at the table. You should not discuss or try and have this kind of debate with him at the table in front of all these other couples and men and women. You should do that in your own private time. And the thing that annoys me is I see a lot of it where the woman wants to confront the boyfriend in front of all these, like, whoa, you're destroying his manlyhood right there. You're destroying his pride, and he doesn't want to react off his emotions, because as soon as you do that, you show your weaknesses, right, as a man. So for me, it's not a 50-50 thing, it's a 100-100 thing. Like, you need to act in a certain way in a relationship for that partnership to be strong. Guys, without further ado, let's get straight into this video.
Comfortable, especially women, and that word is submissive. Okay, so as a woman, as a wife, Allie, what does it mean to be submissive?
Let's take it the
So
wrong
the word
way.
submissive has a negative connotation on it. So what would probably be more digestible for women's ears would be willful cooperation.
There we go. So again, women, there are certain words that, again, men, listen out for this. There are certain words you are not allowed, or you should not use when you're speaking to women, because they take it the wrong way. Because what are they? Emotional. They act upon the words and they're like, they take it to heart. So when you say you should be submissive to me, they take it the wrong way. Whereas men, they'd be like, submissive. Okay, what would you mean by that? That's the question you would ask as a man, and you'd break it down and they would understand. A woman would be like, I ain't being submissive. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Submissive. That's how they would react to you. So sometimes you have to use different words for them to cooperate with you, man. For real.
If your man has a good program and it's trusted, proven, and justified authority in that relationship, authority with responsibility, because he's responsible for the outcomes of the relationship. If you have that, you're naturally going to follow. And that's the thing about it is some women talk about, high value man. There's a lot of different components to masculinity. I can say for certain that I don't worry about my physical safety in the presence of my husband at all.
He's a strong dude. I met that guy. He shook my hand real strong. I was like, all right, buddy.
Yes, he's a trained fighter, and he's also trained with weapons. So I don't have to worry about that. So of course I'm like, let me get with this program. This program is awesome. I'd like the subscription to last for the rest of my life. And that's what women don't want to hear, because they haven't had experience with it because they can't keep a man. But the thing about submission itself is that it has a really convoluted understanding. Your man that you quote unquote submit to, willful cooperation, you willfully cooperate with him, he has to have something bigger than himself. That is the goal. And some people break it down to religion, like that's fabulous. But I know for my relationship, my husband is not a believer, but he believes in the greater good of humanity and society. So he's always trying to do good in the world. So I don't have to worry about him going mad with power. And that's also a weird narrative that women come up with. They're like, well, what's going to happen if you give a man power? Well, like they gave us Wi-Fi and air conditioning. I think they're doing great with power.
Well, and because they picked the wrong men to give power to. So they put that on all men. So it's like, again, they're putting your poor choices on all of us. Just because you can't find a man to submit to doesn't mean we can't.
So,
right, and it's argumentative women that they struggle with submission because women that are coming from two-parent households, well-rounded. I live in the Midwest. I know a lot of women that understand that when there is trusted, proven, and justified authority, they're like, yes, I would like your help. I'm going to go with the flow on this one. But like, women just don't want to be honest that like you're not fun to be around. People are tired of arguing with you. People are not fighting over your invitation at the party. They would rather you didn't go.
Well, and a lot of like more feminine girls, we prefer it. Like I hate making decisions. Like honestly, like I hire a couple people now and like I hate it. It's so against my personality. If I could just have someone like do that part of the job for me, I would prefer it. Like it is so much easier as a girl like working for someone than it is like having like managing all these people.
So she used, instead of the word submissive, willful cooperation.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm so confused by that term.
Okay.
Well,
so
yeah, I would figure you're very successful. Yes.
Yes.
So it would be hard to imagine applying that work ethic, but in a relationship.
I'm still confused.
Do you think you can explain?
No, break it down. So
do you not understand the willful cooperation or the submission?
Willful cooperation.
Willful cooperation.
I'm a Croatian, so.
Okay. So
simple.
So basically, it's giving your man authority, which is not something that's often done in society.
Well, give me an example.
Okay, so you're getting dressed, and your dress is a little bit provocative. Maybe you're a little bit ignorant on it. He says, honey, you're showing a little bit much. I don't know if you're aware. Do you mind changing? Like, would you argue with him, or would you put on a different dress?
If I think the dress looks hot, I would wear it.
Yeah, well, that's making it about you and not your relationship. That's the opposite of willful cooperation.
Okay, so that's not me.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's stay there for a second because I've dated some girls that look good in dresses, and maybe they look.
For me, I would let my girl wear whatever she wanted. Like whether she wanted to close it up, let it out. For me, I mean, if she was to ever decide to go along that way or flirting with other guys, that's her choice, man. At the end of the day, I'm not, I don't want to say this on camera, but at the end of the day, for me, you're either with me or you're not. I'm really not one of those guys that is very overprotective and it's like doesn't let my own girl even go out for goodness sake in what she wants to wear. Like she can wear what she wants to wear. I'm not. That's down to her. If she feels right and she feels comfortable in what she's wearing, that's her choice. So I don't even get wrapped up in that as a man, because I feel like as a guy, like I need to be way ahead of that. Like I need to be mature, like especially in my 20s now. Like why am I gonna get riled up over what she's wearing? Like I just feel like that's so immature.
It looked a little too good, and I was like, the whole honey, does this make my butt look good? Oh hell yeah, whatever. But you're saying, as a man, hey babe, a little much.
And I would kind of get, I would kind of feel good, like that my girl's wearing that, a nice tight dress that shows her figure. I'll be like, that's mine. That's my cupcake. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can have a look, but you can't touch. You know, like for me, I'm like, yeah, that's mine. That's my achievement. You know. Anyway, let's get to it, man. Hey, if I gave you, sorry, I'm getting carried away here, man.
I don't feel comfortable with this. Would you mind changing? You would change.
I would absolutely change, and it's not just about the impression that it would have out there on the world. It's protection, because I could get the wrong kind of attention from an unhinged man.
And what would happen if you get some attention from a man?
From a man that I don't want the attention from? I'm being sexualized by a stranger. I don't want that.
But what do you mean by attention?
True.
Somebody looking at you that like...
Men are gonna look. They always look.
So what? Let them look. What?
I don't want to be sexualized by someone that's not my husband.
Okay, so why do you post stuff online? I'm sure some guys watch your stuff.
Have you scrolled through my Instagram?
A little.
It's pretty kosher. Like,
Okay.
I mean, there's some weirdos out there, I'm sure.
And when you're with a guy, you represent him. So
I agree with that.
I would never want to wear something that's like embarrassing to a dude.
No, I agree with that. I would never wear something inappropriate for a situation. But if a guy, like, I usually tell my boyfriend to choose my outfits just because he has good style. Like, he has good taste. So, like, he would never, I'm personally not like a vulgar person.
So what I'm saying is, like, if he deemed it inappropriate, like submitting is trusting his judgment, and so
I trust. If submitting is trusting a guy's judgment, then I agree with it.
But you wouldn't in that situation, because you said no. I would still wear what I want.
If I felt that my outfit is appropriate for the occasion,
right? But that's what submitting is. It's saying, even though I think it's appropriate, I'm going to trust my man to make that decision.
Okay. But is that a slippery slope right there? Meaning,
I have a question.
When does the submission part start? Meaning, we've been dating for 3 months, 6 months. Does it start when you're official? Does it start when you're married? Meaning, if you've only been with a guy for a couple months and he's like, hey, would you mind changing? I kind of get Coco's perspective. Like, I don't know you like that, buddy.
Are you dating?
But if this is a marriage, this is your husband, according to Ali, go ahead and change, baby.
Are you dating with intention, or are you dating just to date, is the question. Because
define the difference.
So if you're dating with like the expressed intention on both parties to get married, okay, like you have to show him what you're gonna do in the marriage.
Okay.
So like some people just date to have fun and date around. Like I can understand not submitting to a guy if you're just dating to date, but if you want to get married, like you have to show that guy what he's gonna get when he marries you. Like,
oi.
Coco, your response.
No, I had a question.
She literally hit the nail on the head. I'm telling you, this just pearly things, mate. She's a clever woman, man. I'm telling you.
So I feel like you're a very family-oriented person, right? You have a big family. What would happen? Let's say you get married to a guy, and 5 years into the marriage, he gets into a huge fight with one of your family members, and he's like, "I never want to go to your house again." What would you do?
When I first saw this product, I thought it looked kind of crazy. Didn't really understand what the benefits would be, but I had seen some before and after pictures on the website and thought to myself, you know what?
Wow, that's a really good question.
Thank you.
I wouldn't choose a guy that would get between me and my family.
That's not my question. Let's say maybe there was an event, maybe people, I don't know if you guys are drinking or not, you know, maybe there was a party.
Something
happened.
Yeah, okay. If he was my husband, I would trust his judgment.
So you would not speak to your family ever again because of your husband?
Well, you said one family member.
Okay, maybe. Okay.
Like one we can lose. There's like 9 others.
like I would hope.
Like with your dad. I see you're very close to your dad. If your dad gets into a fight with your husband, what would you do?
If my dad got into a fight with my husband,
maybe because you were very submissive, and I don't know what's your family situation. I don't want to
I let my dad vet the guys that I date, actually.
But
so
I agree with that too. But things can happen down the line, like 5 years in, maybe.
And my dad doesn't drink either, so it's a little different.
Okay,
this is a hypothetical, but it is. You said it's a what?
See, I don't like these hypothetical questions. Sometimes it can be really annoying. It's like, hypothetically speaking, what would you do? It's like, well, I can't answer that question because it's kind of not. It wouldn't happen. Like, you know, it's kind of a hard question. But I don't think she would. I personally think she would, if she really is family orientated, for me, I don't think she would stand for that. Like, I think she would go against the husband there, because, like, I feel like family means so much to her. Then he would understand and respect the fact that he wouldn't even, doesn't matter what it was, whether it was the dad said something really nasty to him. As a man, again, you shouldn't be reacting off other people's comments. So you would take that in, and then you'd speak to your wife after the party. You'd say, look, this is what your dad said to me. I thought it was pretty nasty. I thought it was pretty out of hand. Can you have a word with him? Because I didn't want to react. That's how, you know, and I'm pretty sure that that's the kind of guy that she goes for. That's how he would act, you know. So
I think that's more of an exception argument. Well, what if? What
Yeah,
if?
No,
like
but it's not an if, because
at the end of the day-
relationships and family are going to fight.
At the end of the day, like I would, if it was my husband, I would trust my husband
Not at
over my
all.
family, especially if that's someone I have a child with.
Okay.
Like that's your
there's no
husband.
reason. There's no reason to.
I mean,
Do you
I
feel
would
differently,
I would
Coco?
do everything.
All right, we're gonna end it there. But I think he's wrong there. He's wrong because that doesn't account for every single person. You know, like for me, I don't think I've ever had one argument with my other half's parents. Not once. Because the kind of person I am is I would never do that in front of them, and if they ever did say something nasty or kind of derogative towards me, I would always confront my other half about it behind closed doors. But that's never happened, you know. I feel like with some people, it may be different with the girls' side of things, because again, with these modern women today, women in general, they act off emotions and they retaliate over things, you know, and they're not kind of afraid to express themselves in front of people. So it may be different from that side of things, but it all depends on the person. All depends whether they are a very reactive person. Listen, when it's come down to my friends, I have been very reactive at times when I've been under the influence of alcohol. You know, I'm trying to stay away from that now, man, because I just know there are times where if I ever did consume too much, I would react of little things that I would never usually react of. So there have been times where I have been reactive, but when it comes to family, close family, never. Because there's boundaries there that I can't break. And if I ever did feel offended, I would always tell someone behind closed doors. I wouldn't react in front of people, you know. But again, depends what kind of person you are. Guys, you're with your boy Jordan, and I'll see you in the next video.